So at 1 o'clock this morning, as you've just heard from Cole Blanche, police officers found Cleo at a home in Carnarvon. So I can just hear, the reason I've stopped is I can just hear some people in the background. They're just opening up their shop and they're just celebrating. I think this news is just going to ring around town this morning that young 4-year-old Cleo has been found alive and well. But back to the police operation. At 1 o'clock this morning, they found her and they asked the girl, "What's your name?" And she replied, "Cleo." And police were able to reunite her with her family, who have been missing her for 18 days. I mean, it was 18 days that she was gone. She'd been camping with her family at the Blowholes campsite, and it's just wonderful news. I mean, as Cole Blanche put it, that everyone's been hoping for.
Yeah, it really is. And I think Cleo's mum has just responded on social media. You were talking about the outpouring in Carnarvon on the streets there. It's only 6 o'clock in the morning, so that news sort of just filtering through there for locals. And we have this response from Ellie Smith, Cleo Smith's mother, saying, "Our family is whole again," and she's posted a photo of Cleo.
Oh, that's just gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? I mean, we heard from Ellie Smith. She'd done a couple of media interviews and you could really see it in her eyes. I mean, like any parent, was just wanted her 4-year-old home. She didn't know what had happened. And, she just said that Cleo would be terrified. She was just so worried about how Cleo would be feeling. She'd been sort of consistently posting on social media. I mean, the other day saying that every day gets harder. And also the other day pointing to Halloween. I mean, Cleo's just 4 and Ellie said that she loves dressing up and she missed out on that Halloween with her family. So they, of course, had just missed her so much, and she's got a younger sister as well who will just be so thrilled to see her back home. She's got friends at school, but just the broader community. I mean, everyone we've spoken to has just been hoping, every morning that they would wake up and that they'd get that news that Cleo would be alive. And today's that morning. I think we've already heard from the Carnarvon Shire president, who's just elated. I mean, I spoke to him the other day and his message to the community was just to stay positive. I think when things like this happen, I mean, police were doing everything they could, and you kind of just never know. And that was the message from Eddie, just to remain positive. And people around the community had that sentiment as well. As each day passed, they said, of course we're concerned, of course we feel uneasy, but they were trying just to keep those spirits high, that they'd find Cleo. And that's obviously exactly what police have done overnight.
Eddie Smith is who you're referring to, the Carnarvon Shire president. We are expecting to speak to him a little later this hour. This is a small community, 5,000 people in Carnarvon. You've been there for quite a few days now covering this search operation, this investigation. What are locals telling you, and what have they been telling you about the feeling in the town leading up to today?
Well, people were feeling uneasy. I mean, so Carnarvon, as you say, a town about 5,000 people, and it's only about a 50-minute drive away, the Blowholes campsite, which is where Cleo and her family were camping. And locals kind of refer to it as Carnarvon's playground. A lot of locals have shacks there, and they're just like tin shacks, really, a couple of beds inside. People chuck up tents there. They go fishing, they go snorkeling. It's a really rugged bit of coastline as well. And it's about as remote as you can really feel. I mean, even though it's only 50 minutes from town, it's a super remote place, and everyone kind of grew up there. So they felt uneasy that something had happened. This girl had been suspected to be abducted, and people in town were feeling uneasy. I mean, we spoke to parents who said they had young kids and they just weren't letting them out of their sight because their sense of safety that they had in this close-knit country community had kind of gone. But as I said, everyone was trying to remain as positive as they could. I mean, there were posters, there still are posters plastered around town looking for Cleo, you know, that said missing child, and they were everywhere. Just about every second car in Carnarvon had that bumper sticker, and then, you know, businesses just had window after window, just posters looking for Cleo. So it's just going to be so wonderful when people here in Carnarvon wake up and we can go and talk to them. I mean, the kids at her school are just going to be so thrilled, and I'm so pleased that Ellie, her mum, has been able to share that good news on Instagram as well.